Hello, my name is Dr. Wendell, and today I'm going to talk about my Whole Foods experience. This is like part two. I decided to do a part two because there was a subscriber and viewer that asked me a very important question about my time working at Whole Foods Market. The question was basically, did I give a 2 weeks notice when I worked there before I quit, or did I just quit and leave? I did give a 2 weeks notice. And I was in a position where I could do that. My husband ended up getting a job, full-time job, outside of the home, so I didn't have to wait in order to find another employment. I was very severely injured from working on that job. My knee was messed up for, still having problems with my knees to this day. I have arthritis in both of my knees and my ankles. But yeah, I did give a 2 weeks notice. This viewer subscriber also voiced some concern about him, whether, I don't know, just the frustrations that he was having there, which was similar to what I encountered when I worked at that job, about them having high expectations of what you can do in one day, and just expecting you to know certain things that, it's impossible for you to know day in and day out, and dealing with customers, and several different managers being micromanaged and everything like that. It was tumultuous. It was just a bundle of confusion and craziness when I worked at Whole Foods Market. And it showed with how people were getting injured there. And I just think that more people should know about what's really going on there, because most people just assume because it's a health food store that it's going to be run smoothly and professionally. That's not true. So yeah, I just wanted to take some time out and talk about that experience I had there, further elaborate on my experience there. It is still kind of painful talking about it, because that job was going to be a job that I thought that I could rise up in the ranks with, like get into management maybe, and for it to be profitable for me to help with, taking care of my family. And I figured, I got paint on me, I was painting, sorry. I figured, what better job than to do to work around healthy stuff, healthy food. I figured healthy food, healthy people. That's not necessarily true. So my heart goes out to you, subscriber, viewer, who left a comment. I'm just, I just look back on that time as a time where it was filled with a lot of frustration, a lot of sadness. I went through a depression working there because I wasn't taken seriously. As soon as I got injured, then I was just disposable. And that's what happens in a lot of jobs out there, 9-to-5 jobs. As soon as you get injured, you're no good to them, so they don't really care much about you. They just feel like, oh God, now we got to pay money for their disability or whatever. They never gave me any disability, definitely not. And I don't have disability at this time, so that's another story, another video for another time. But yeah, it was just a crazy thing. And another viewer and subscriber, longtime viewer and subscriber of both of my channels that I have 3 channels altogether, if you didn't know. But he was asking, did they x-ray my knee? And they did not. They did not do an x-ray of my knee when I injured it on the job. So if you didn't catch part 1 of the Whole Foods experience, check it out. I talk more in depth and detail about what went down and how I got injured at the job. They're very discriminative. I experienced, it felt like a racist type of situation, because like I talked about in the first video, part 1, I talked about how I asked them if I could get a disability just for a little bit so that I can recuperate and heal properly. And they're like, no, we'll just put you on limited duty. But my limited duty, I couldn't really do much of anything, because I couldn't merely stand and do the duties that I used to do when I was a grocery clerk. So then this one guy came to me that was working in the same department and said that they gave him disability, so he stayed out for like a few months so that his back could recover. And he was a white dude. And I was hearing a lot of stories like that after hearing his story. And I was just kind of like, okay, I see what's going on. So I just have to find a way to get out of this job. And I was lucky enough that my husband got a job, where it paid enough to where I didn't have to work there anymore, and I could leave there and actually work on healing myself. So um, it's a very discouraging thing when you get into a job and you think it's going to be something good for you, good for your life, good for your family, perhaps if you have a family, and then you get there and it's totally different, and it's run by people that are very unprofessional, uncaring, selfish, and just destructive. It's just a toxic environment to work in, and I hope that you find a way to get out of that environment, whatever you have to do, so yeah, it sucks. It sucks that these places are like that. You think they wouldn't be. You think they would care about their employees, but they don't, because they know they can replace you easily. Alright, guys, that's all I have to say about that today. If you have any further questions about my experience at Whole Foods Market, you can leave it in the comment section below, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. You can also post questions to me for this channel, and donate like $1 or more to my PayPal account, and I'll leave all that information below. I only mention this because people have been asking how can they donate to this channel. I also have a new shop where I sell my art, and some other shops where I sell my art as well, which I'll leave in the links in the description below. So thank you all for joining me. I know everybody can relate to, well, a lot of people can relate to having a 9-to-5 job where you're working it and you're working so hard, but you're not getting appreciated, and you're getting chastised every single time you show up there. That's how I felt there. I could never do anything right when I worked there, or any of the jobs that I had that were 9-to-5 jobs. It was always these high expectations. You bust in your ass, and by the end of the day, you don't feel like doing shit. You just feel like, I don't know, numbing up out or something like most people do, like drink a beer, watch a game, and then conk out and start all over again. I don't do that, but I can understand why people do that, because it's a really hard situation to be in a job that you really don't like and you're really not getting appreciated for. It sucks, because you should get appreciated for all the effort that you put in within the day, and it just didn't happen that way when I worked there. It didn't. There was a lot of phoniness and backstabbing that occurred there, a lot of talking behind people's backs. That's not how people should behave in a work situation. I mean, we're supposed to be all adults and very responsible people, but that's not the situation. So, and I was coming across that kind of experience with not just the regular employees, but a lot of times the managers. There was too many freaking managers. Like that guy was saying, the subscriber viewer that posed this question to me for today's show. He's saying he's just getting told to do so many different things from so many different people, and that's my experience. And it's been a lot of people's experience with Whole Foods working there as well. So, yeah. So share your story if you worked there before, or share your story about a job you're working and it's frustrating and you can't see your way out of it. My heart goes to all of you guys, all of you that are working really hard doing those 9-to-5 jobs, because what I do to help to support my family is my art, and that's the changes happen in contrast to working at this place where I'm not treated kindly. I'm not treated with respect. They treated them with respect, and they didn't do that in return. So it's not an even exchange of energy, then it's not going to work out. So, alrighty, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for the likes and shares, and thank you for your kind comments. Leave your comments down below. Like I said, let me know. How are you coping with your job right now? There's ways you can try to figure out how to work your way out of the situation. And I've always said the best thing to do is after you get off from work, decompress, try to get all those negative energies off of you by meditating, not by, try to get into a whole another practice instead of coming home and turning the television on. Maybe you come home and then go outside and meditate and just kind of calm down and get all those negative energies out of you as best you can, because that becomes a habit of just coming home, flopping down on the couch and putting the TV on, so you can just kind of tune into some program. I think the more that you take the time out to meditate, the more you can see through your dilemmas and your problems. That happened to me. I started realizing I don't want to just come home, flop down, and watch television. I want to do some other things first, or something to just mellow me out. So yeah, alrighty guys, I will see you guys soon. Brightest blessings to you all.